Chapter 2406, Compensation. Published by Divine.Tao Library. Translator, Salavan and Godbrandy. Translation checker, Pew Pew Lasergun. Editor and proofreader, Leo of Zion Mountain and Dale Ligerkeys. Somewhere in the star boundary, a huge vortex appeared on the surface of the sea. The vortex appeared out of nowhere, stirring up the seawater in an area of 100 kilometers. Its power was astonishing, and all the sea beasts that were nearby scattered in a panic. In the next moment, something shot out of this vortex, before it scattered in all directions. It was a group made of men and women with an uneven level of cultivation. Every person seemed to have gone through some kind of calamity, and their faces were all pale, filled with fear. All of them seemed to be in a daze as they looked around in confusion. It was none other than Yang Kai's group, who had just left the solitary void-sealed world. As the Sea King shuttle collapsed, Bing Yun had used her powerful Emperor Qi to protect everyone, saving them from imminent death. If not for her, no more than 3 people would have survived the trip. Ugh! Bing Yun spat out a mouthful of blood. Forcibly using her Emperor Qi had caused her previous injuries to worsen. Fan Xin and the others paled and hurried to check on her. Yang Kai also hurried over and asked anxiously, "Senior, how are you?" Bing Yun waved her hand. She didn't speak and directly sat cross-legged in midair, forming a series of hand seals to activate some kind of secret technique. Seeing that she wanted to treat her wounds, Yang Kai urged, "Everyone, disperse and keep an eye on the surroundings. Don't let anyone disturb Senior." Hearing his words, the others quickly left Bing Yun's side. "Senior brother, did we really manage to escape?" Lu Xianyun asked, looking somewhat uncertain. As there was only water around them, she couldn't tell if this was the star boundary or the solitary void-sealed world. If their escape had failed, they might have to spend the rest of their lives in the solitary void-sealed world. Yang Kai frowned. He was also unsure if this was the solitary void-sealed world or not, but very soon, he started to circulate his source chi and tried to absorb the world energy all around him. Unexpectedly, his actions weren't hindered at all, which made him very happy. This isn't the solitary void-sealed world. Hearing his words, Lu Xianyun's eyes shone. Yang Kai said with a smile, "The world energy here is thinner than the solitary void-sealed world, but that strange disruption force doesn't exist. In the solitary void-sealed world, no place was free from that strange disruption force that made ambient world energy impossible to absorb, forcing cultivators to rely on special spirit-purifying arrays to cultivate. Yet, Yang Kai could easily absorb the world energy around him now, which was the best proof that they had left the solitary void-sealed world. We really managed to escape." Lu Xianyun rejoiced. After overhearing their conversation, Ling Yin Qin and the others were dumbstruck. Having lived in the solitary void-sealed world for so long, they had lost any hope of escaping and returning to the star boundary, but now, their impossible dream had come true. This made them feel as if they were reborn, and they were so excited that their bodies shivered involuntarily. "If this isn't the solitary void-sealed world, where are we?" Lu Xianyun asked. Yang Kai pondered, then replied, "Among the 4 great territories of the star boundary, except for the Western Territory, the others all have large oceans, but if I had to guess, I'd say that we're in the Northern Territory." "Why do you think so?" Lu Xianyun looked at Yang Kai with some curiosity, wondering how he reached this conclusion. Yang Kai said with a faint smile, "Haven't you noticed that this place is unusually cold? The Eastern and Southern Territories have very few places with this type of climate. Only the Northern Territory is covered by ice and snow all year round, thus having this kind of cold weather." Although it was just a guess, Yang Kai felt that it was not too far from the truth. After leaving the Thousand Leaves sect, he wanted to go to the Eastern Territory's Netherworld sect, where he would look for Yin Lesheng and make inquiries about Coco's whereabouts. Yet, he ended up in the Northern Territory first. The future was truly impossible to predict. "Senior brother Yang, did you just say that this is the Northern Territory?" Fan Xin looked at Yang Kai, a tinge of excitement in her voice. "It's just a guess. I don't know for sure." Yang Kai smiled. "The Master Sect is in the Northern Territory." Fan Xin and her junior and senior sisters looked at one another, their eyes filled with joy. Bing Yun had taken them in as disciples while they were in the solitary void-sealed world, so although outsiders thought that she was just another disciple of Ice Heart Pavilion, Fan Xin and her sisters knew their true statuses and identities. They knew that their honored master was the ancestral founder of Ice Heart Valley in the Star Boundary's Northern Territory. Fan Xin and the others longed for this master sect they had never visited, and they all hoped to spend the rest of their lives there with their honored master, But as they were stuck in the solitary void-sealed world, this wish of theirs couldn't be fulfilled. Now that they had escaped, and happened to land in the Northern Territory, they were very excited. Someone's coming over. I guess we can ask them if this is the Northern Territory. Yang Kai suddenly looked in a certain direction. Sometime later, the others also saw someone rapidly approaching from that direction. When the other party got closer, they noticed that it was a group of 10 or so people led by an old man. The old man had grey hair, and his expression was gloomy. When he looked at Yang Kai's group, his eyes carried a tinge of hostility, while the men and women behind him also looked at them with indignation, just as if Yang Kai and the others had offended them. Yang Kai frowned, unsure as to what was happening. However, he didn't dare to be careless. This old man hadn't concealed his aura, so it was easy to tell he was a First-Order Emperor Realm Master. The 10 or so people behind him were all Dao Source Realm cultivators as well, none below the Third Order. These guys definitely have strong backing. They seem to be from some big sect. Yang Kai mused. In truth, he wasn't afraid of them, and even if they were to come to blows, Yang Kai was confident he could escape unharmed and unhindered. However, the same could not be said for Lu Xianyun and the others. There was also Bing Yun, who was treating her wounds and couldn't bear any kind of interference. Thinking of this, Yang Kai hurried to greet the old man. Cupping his fists and saying, "Junior Yang Kai greet Senior. May I ask for your honored name?" Yang Kai used a respectful tone. After all, this place might be the other party's domain, so there was no advantage in picking a fight with them. Unexpectedly, the old man didn't appreciate the gesture and arrogantly said, "This king is Immaculate Island's vice-island master, Jiang Zhouzi. Who are you and what are you doing here?" It was Yang Kai's first time coming to this place, and he wasn't even sure if this was the Northern Territory, so needless to say he had never heard of this Immaculate Island. Still, if someone like Jiang Zhouzi, an Emperor Realm Master, was their vice-island master, it was obvious this sect was not too weak. At the very least, their island master should be stronger than Jiang Zhouzi. "So, it is Island Master Jiang. Please forgive Junior's lack of respect. We were just passing by and we didn't mean to cause a disturbance. I hope Island Master Jiang will forgive us," Yang Kai said respectfully, his face neither arrogant nor servile. "You didn't mean to cause a disturbance?" Before Jiang Zhouzi could speak, a red-robed woman behind him sneered. This woman was quite attractive and had a good figure, but her facial features weren't that exquisite, her high cheekbones giving her a mean look. For some reason, she angrily shouted at Yang Kai, "You suddenly appeared here and scared off the blue infant beast, yet you claim you didn't want to cause a disturbance. Are you taking us for fools?" Encouraged by the presence of the Emperor Realm Master, the red-robed woman didn't put Yang Kai's group in her eyes and started to lecture them madly, which made Ling Yin-chin and the others frown. Blue infant beast? Yang Kai furrowed his brow. He knew of this beast. It was a monster beast that lived in the depths of the sea whose cry was similar to a baby's wail. Due to its body being ice blue, it was called Blue Infant Beast. The Blue Infant Beast was a 12th order monster beast, which was equivalent to an Emperor Realm Master. Moreover, it was very rare and its monster core was priceless as it could be used to strengthen one's soul, even giving him a chance to have an epiphany which might lead to a breakthrough. If this core was refined into a pill and taken, it could help cultivators obtain twice the result with half the effort when cultivating secret techniques and divine abilities. Yang Kai hadn't expected this stretch of sea to be home to a blue infant beast, and judging from what the red-robed woman had said, their sudden appearance had frightened it away. Earlier, Yang Kai had noticed several sea beasts scattering away, but as he wasn't paying close attention to them, he didn't know if there was a blue infant beast among them. "Well said," Jiang Zhouzi said coldly. "We made arrangements for a whole month, and then laid in wait for another half a month before we finally caught a glimpse of the blue infant beast, but before we could even take action, you scared it off. This matter can't end like this." The red-robed woman added, "The monster core of the blue infant beast was supposed to be a congratulatory gift for the Seeking Passion sect's young sect master's auspicious day. Now that the beast is gone, what are we supposed to do?" Yang Kai felt somewhat guilty at first. If these people were telling the truth, it was indeed his group's fault that the beast had escaped. The other party had been preparing for so long, and had even lain in wait for half a month, but their sudden appearance ruined everything. Anyone would be mad in this situation. However, the constant chatter of the old man and young woman, along with their arrogance, annoyed him. There was no matter that couldn't be solved with talking or negotiation, so why did they need to act so aggressively? Weren't they just trying to bully them with their superior strength? Considering all this, Yang Kai straightened his back and said, "In that case, what do you suggest we do?" Ling Yin-chin, who was nearby, frowned. How valuable was that blue infant beast? Perhaps we can give you something of equal value in return. She wanted to make concessions to avoid trouble. A few days ago, her crew had gotten a lot of nice things, which they later sold on Clear Sky Island. As a result, they had some source crystals with them. Besides, Yang Kai was very rich, so compensating the other party for the damage was a good solution. Something of equal value. The red-robed woman looked at Ling Yin-chin and ridiculed her. Even if we were to sell you lot, it wouldn't be enough to compensate for the loss we suffered. Do you think that the blue infant beast is that easy to find? In the whole ice sea, there are no more than 3. How can you give us something of equal value in return? It looked like she would blow her top at any moment. Yang Kai frowned. Since it has come to this, what do you want to do? Hearing his words, Jiang Zhouzi coldly looked at Yang Kai before snorting and saying, given your tone, it seems you're not putting our immaculate island in your eyes. Is that right? Salavan, read a comment that was confused about world principles and world force. They are 2 different things. World principles consist of the space principles and etc. World force is above that. World force is literally the power of the world in and of itself. So, you can think of world principles as a subset of world force. If you can control world force, technically, you are manipulating the world itself. You basically will the world. Meanwhile, for world principles, they are a combination of all types of principles that help form up the world.